I wanted to come back and play with my bubble edge mold and trying to get orange again, pumpkin-y looking sort of thing. But you know me, I'm always going to add something or do something different with it. I am using Let's Resin Tabletop Resin. It's a 1-to-1 higher viscosity resin. I find that it cures a little bit faster, sort of like their fast cure resin. I'm using my bubble edge mold from Julie Cuts, Pouring Your Heart Out, and I see I've got little bits of blue and green that are left over from my last pour in there, but that's okay. Might add a little bit of something to our pour. I've poured 10 ounces of resin. I divided it pretty evenly amongst these 5 cups. This one might have a little more, so I'm going to switch it over to my white. I can see the light in each cup, the levels. All right, so in my first cup, I'm going to use Octopus Fluids Resin Ink Melon, and I'm going to go straight for 6 drops. I'm opening it to the side so the crusties don't go in there. So let's do 6. Actually, this one doesn't color as bright or thick as some of my other ones, so I'm going to add 4 more. Like their onyx, you use 6 drops of that, you're bordering on opaque. Some of them do that, some of them don't. You just have to learn with your inks which ones are thicker and more opaque. And always, if you add more, it gets stronger, so you can just add more. All right, so this is the melon. You see it's not very strong. You know what, I'm gonna add 4 more drops. I know, I'm being a little crazy. Just remember never to add more than 6% of anything to your resin so that it cures properly. That should be dark enough for what I'm looking for. All right, had to take a quick break. I was getting some messages I had to respond to. I just noticed there's some fuzzies in my mold. Let's get it cleaned out. Yeah, another day. All right, so our next color that we're doing is Liquitex Yellow Orange. And I'm gonna do, let's check 3 drops. I don't use this one often, so I'm not sure about the coloring. Actually, I can sort of look at it and know I want 2 more. It's definitely going to be a transparent. This is a very nice bright yellow. Sometimes I'm in the mood for yellow when I need a little sunshine, a little brightness to my day. All right, next I have Vivid Red Orange, and I think I'm doing 4 drops of this one. Let's do 5. Let's just do 5 because I'm also going to add from Ranger Inks their Alcohol Pearl Mineral. And I'm going to add, let's say 6 drops of this. Yes, it's just random numbers. Go with your heart. Actually, let's do 10. My heart is saying more today. We need more color. We need more stuff. Sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I need the bright, and then sometimes I'm a little more muted. No one does muted as well or pastel as Nicole Martin. If you haven't watched her videos or seen her Instagram, just wow. Just wow. Does such brilliant work. All right. I don't have a lot of room because I don't know if you could see over here, I've got the stem of a pumpkin that's taking up half of my table. All right, so my next one, I'm going to use a pigment paste. A lot of times I use Eder Arts drops. Someone asked me if I could use a paste. Absolutely. This is Just Resin Pigment Paste Moss Green. I know it's a little weird for what I'm going for. I just wanted a darker color. I also have from Laura's Art Corner some of the Sight Gold. I'm just going to put a very tiny bit in here just for some more shimmer, because you can't ever have too much shimmer. All right, I'll put that out of my way. Let's get the moss green going. Very deep green. If your paste gets kind of chunky, just hit it with your heat gun. That'll loosen it up a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Hopefully I added enough. I do want it to be opaque. We'll see. I might need to do just a tad more to give it what I'm looking for. Oh, that looks absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Is it opaque enough? I'm thinking maybe it's opaque enough with that little bit I added. I think that's probably good. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so next for my white, normally I use Let's Resin Ocean White, but I decided to switch things up today, and I'm gonna use Eye Candy Satori White. I want this heavier than I want it for a bloom. I want it a thick, opaque, bright white, so I'm gonna make sure I get a ton on my stick, way more than I would use for a bloom. Let's give it a mix up and see how bright and opaque we got it. If it's not enough, we'll add more, because we do need this to be heavy. I'm adding heavy colors, so we want it to be able to fall through those colors. Let's see, that looks pretty good. I get worried when I switch up my flower white that I'm not gonna be heavy enough. Let me just look at it for myself. I think I'm going that this is okay. I'm saying it's heavy enough. All right, so I am gonna do a dirty type pour. So I've got my cup to the side. I'm using a clear cup just so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so let me just get my sticks out. Just get my sticks out. All right, let's just go with this one first. So I'm just pouring down the side. I don't want to do too many pours. Let's do yellow next. But I want to mix it up just a little bit. Put the yellow between them. I hope these colors are different enough. They look pretty similar. We'll see how it looks when we pour it. I'm going to do yellow next. I'm trying to break up my colors that are very similar with the yellow. You could sort of see in the cup that it's changed, or that there's different colors in there. I don't know, my lights. Can you see the different colors? Maybe there's a way. I can't really show it to you, but there's different layered colors. All right, so now I'm just gonna pour this into my mold. I'm gonna go up into the little bubbles. I love the bubble edge. Not too different of colors, but should be good enough. All right, so I have a little bit left in this cup that I'm keeping. I didn't throw all my sticks away, so I need to grab that one, because I am going to need just a little push.
All right, so for my green here, I am not using a piping bag. I'm just going to pour it around the sides. I'm doing a pushless pour for this one. This is a very heavy resin, and when I do the pushes, it sends everything out, and the final push always leaves me with a clear center hole or a lightly colored center hole, which I'm not a huge fan of. Some of the pours it looks really great with, but this one I didn't want to have that. So we are doing pushless. And I really need to hope that my white is heavy enough for this pour. Let me go ahead and hit this with some heat. I see I have a lot of bubbles in the center. All right, let's just cut the tip off. Now again, I do want it to be kind of heavy, so I am gonna do like heavy little lines. I'm gonna start from the outside and probably do 3 rounds. It's jiggling like that because I'm squeezing the bag to get it to come out. I don't know, what number am I on now? I wasn't counting. That should be good enough. And do the next one. Jiggling because I'm squeezing the bag. I should have done a bigger hole and I wouldn't have to squeeze as hard. Here we go again. You guys get what I'm doing. The light's a little in my eyes over here. Right. Next one. Just moving it up in the bag. Next. All right, so I'm gonna stop. I did all circles into, and I have, remember that tiny bit I had left? I'm gonna scrape that, and I'm gonna put that where I think the center is. I'm gonna pick my cup up kind of high. It'll be like a little bitty push. I just want to pull it apart a little. And now I'm gonna do a spiral. So I'm gonna start in the center. So you see I'm still putting white in my center. That push just gave me a little bit of a shove. Seems like I'm off to one side, huh? We need to add more on this side to get out to the outside. Got more left. Let's see if we can add some more. In particular to the one side I was a little light on. Yeah, there's one. See a little separation there. Just dribbling it now out of the bag, using all the white. All right, now I did pull out some bits. I wasn't sure what this would look like. I'm afraid I had picked these orange ones, and originally I thought these would be great. But now I might be leaning. I got these from Laura's Art Corner. They're just really gold little balls. I'm thinking these are going to be it. I hope they don't roll all over the place because I'm not mixing them with resin. Just want to get enough in there. I figured the balls would look nice with the... I'm just looking to see whereabouts my center would be. Hopefully they don't roll all over the place. I can't see where they went, but that's okay. We'll see how it works out. You can see I'm getting some bubbles. I get a lot of bubbles from the bubble edge mold. I'm going to just hit it with heat in the center. I'm going to wait 10 minutes, let everything come to the center, get the bubbles away from the edge of my mold, and then I'll hit it with heat again. If I have any little bubbles that just stick and won't go away, I'll put just a tiny bit of alcohol on my little toothpick and go after those. I don't want to add a lot of alcohol because it may impact the thickness of the resin and how things move. So I want to try to avoid alcohol. All right, we'll be back when it's time to unmold.
All right, looks like this is ready to come out of the mold. It's a little early. I was surprised it was already coming out. We'll see. It is pretty, very fall looking back here, right? We'll see if we got a flower, if our white was heavy enough. So many things coming into play. All right. Here we go. That is pretty. You know that the heavier resin, you can tell I didn't put a lot of white around the edge because there's not much white there. I'm so glad I didn't do pushes because it would have pushed all that away. But yeah, I like it. I like it. The petals are very big. But yeah, I was trying to say, does this look pink? But it is fall. I'm going with fall. It's very pretty. I like it.